Lawyers for former Italian Prime Minister Silvio Berlusconi are preparing to appeal his 7-year jail sentence and a lifetime ban from politics. A court in Milan convicted him for paying for sex with an underage prostitute and abuse of office.
A court in Milan has found Silvio Berlusconi guilty of paying for sex with an underage prostitute and of abusing his power to cover it up. The former Italian Prime Minister has been given 7 years jail and a life ban from public office. But the sentence is not immediately effective pending an appeal. It could be years before a verdict is final. The 7-year sentence announced by the judge is 1 year more than prosecutors had asked for. It's thought the outcome could threaten Italy's fragile coalition government, which depends on the support of Berlusconi's centre-right party. Berlusconi had denied all the charges against him. The 2-year case has grabbed worldwide attention with its accounts of so-called bunga bunga parties at his private villa. The billionaire was accused of paying for sex with a nightclub dancer who was under the legal age for prostitution and abuse of power for trying to get her freed from custody.
This for having sex with that woman, exotic Moroccan-born dancer Karima Al-Mahroub, better known by her professional moniker Ruby Rubacuori, or Ruby the Heartstealer, when she was still a minor, age 17. The second charge was abuse of his office, when Berlusconi used his position as prime minister to have her released from police custody for petty theft. He reportedly told police in Milan Ruby was a close relative of now deposed Egyptian president Hosni Mubarak.
The former prime minister won't have to serve prison time until he exhausts the appeals process. Another Italian court previously found Berlusconi guilty of tax evasion and involvement in leaking police information. He's appealing those rulings too.
While Berlusconi's lawyers expected the outcome, they said the court had been unduly harsh, going beyond what the prosecution had asked for.
It's a verdict that was greatly anticipated. We will naturally appeal and also go to the Supreme Court if needed. It's not a sentence that is political or apolitical. It's a sentence that is completely beyond reality and unrelated to the evidence that emerged during the trial.
There may, though, be consequences in the Italian parliament where the conviction could bring down the country's fragile coalition government. Many of Berlusconi's MPs are furious at a conviction they say has been motivated by politics.
The problem is that what is challenged is much more than the stability of the government, but it is the very democracy of Italy and the rule of law in such an important country as ours.
Outside the court, some celebrated the sentence. "I'm very happy with the way things went," this woman said, "though 7 years is not enough." And this man, "I think the verdict made sense because they had all the evidence to support it." There's a long legal road of appeals that could take several years. If he loses them, a law he passed when Prime Minister restricting jail sentences for the over 70s may keep the 76-year-old on the streets. But if upheld, the ban on holding public office could end his political career. Already there are calls from within his party to pull out of the coalition and force another election. The consequences of Silvio Berlusconi's home entertainment continue to reverberate.
The highest court in Italy will rule on the case later this year. But despite his legal travails, he still managed to stage a remarkable political comeback. His PDL party came second in this year's inconclusive general election. Party acolytes hold key positions in Enrico Letta's coalition government. Could the verdict now endanger PDL's support for this fragile administration? Before the verdict, Mr. Berlusconi said he was the most persecuted man in Italy. An automatic appeal has now begun. It could be several years before the legal process runs its course.